G'day, mate.
Hey,
What's
mate.
your name?
My name's Ben.
Ben. And what do you do, Ben?
I'm a tennis coach.
You're a tennis coach. Hello, brand new episode of Crowdworkcast coming your way. My name is Andrew Barnett. If you're enjoying the show, please do like and subscribe to it wherever you're listening to it. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit the subscribe to the channel and leave a review or make a comment. Let me know who you'd like to see me interview or chat to and what you'd like me to talk to them about. Now, today's guest, Ben Kochan, absolute champion bloke, very, very funny guy I've known for around 10 years. He is an absolute champion. This was a really good chat. I didn't realise exactly how sporty Ben was, and we get right into his love of all the different sports and his fear of getting older. Now, if you enjoy this chat with Ben and you'd like to follow him, he is Ben Kochan on Instagram. He has a brand new show coming to festivals this year. He's going to be in Adelaide, Sydney and Melbourne doing his brand new show, From Us and Ours to You and Yours, which I think is a fantastic title and sums up a little bit about who Ben is. So please do give him a follow and check him out live wherever you can. Likewise, if you'd like to follow me, Andrew Barnett Comedy on Instagram, on Facebook and TikTok, and Mr. A. Barnett on Twitter. Other than that, enough faffing around. Let's get on with the show. Ben, the tennis coach. So that's really all you do?
No, that's not all I do.
Okay, first off, give us your last name, Ben.
Unless
Unless you're now a one-name act. I'd like that.
I should be.
Yeah.
Kochan.
Kochan. Ben Kochan. And not comfortable calling yourself a comedian at this stage? Or what's going on there?
I guess usually when random people ask me, I would never say comedian. Cause then
so if you were in the crowd at a show and someone said, hey, what do you do?
Yeah.
I'd
definitely say tennis coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tennis coach. All right, well, let's get into that first off. How'd that start? How long have you been a tennis coach?
Probably 5 years.
5 years? How old are you?
I'm 30 years old.
30?
Yeah.
Jeez, you wear it well. I was only...
Conchetta tells me I look 55.
Really? Conchetta's, that's hard. Conchetta, your partner?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hard marker. I'm never going to ask Conchetta how old she thinks I am, because if she thinks you're 55, I'm in trouble. But I was thinking about that today. So we met through stand-up. I think I remember the first time I saw you do stand-up.
Was it Quest for the Best?
Yeah,
like
Quest at Starbar. And you, in my mind, like that must have been at least 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so how old were you when you started doing stand-up? 19. Wow.
That's why it's weird to be 30 now. It's like, because, I remember those first few years when you're like, I'm the young guy.
Yeah.
And then you don't even have to be that good. Like, if you're a little bit good, you're like, I'm young and I'm sort of okay.
Yeah, this guy's going to be so good when he's
older.
older.
And then you get old and you're like, now I'm old. Now everyone else is young.
What's weird for me, too, is, I don't know about you, but I still feel a lot like the new guy. But then at times when you bump into new guys and realise, I'm not the new guy anymore.
I find that crazy when now there are like so many schools of new guys. Like, there are a few people who I think of as the new guys, and then they're like, I've been doing it for like 7 or 8 years. I'm like, oh really? I thought you were the new guy now. Like, no, there's 3 more different schools of new guys you've just never even heard of. Yeah,
that is weird, because I didn't dip out completely, but I wasn't in the rooms as much as I was for a few years, and then came back after COVID, and there was I started off, I was doing Tommy Orr's little new material room, and just constantly like, who's that Tommy? Who's that person?
Yeah.
Who's that? And I just so many new people. It was weird because you would have thought post pandemic it would have thinned the herd a bit, but I think we came back with more comedians.
Yeah, I think a bit of both. I think it thinned some, and then also more people were like, I guess people were like, I've got to follow my passion.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah, no. No, maybe your passion's no good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get back to the tennis coaching first
Yeah.
off. I want to cover off on that. So, did you grow up playing tennis, like naturally
Yeah.
sporty kid, or?
Yeah, I think so. Mostly, I mean, I played everything else, but I was probably the best at tennis.
Yeah. So
Played
where'd
a
you
bit
grow
of
up?
The rough parts of the eastern suburbs.
Of Sydney.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, there wasn't. It wasn't the rough parts.
Like where?
The Kush, Willara.
Willara.
Yeah, yeah,
Wilara's nice.
It was very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place to play tennis.
Yeah, it is.
Access to courts, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's So what other sports did you play?
Soccer, cricket, and then probably when I was like 14, 15, touch football.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because you're a secret rugby league fan.
I
too,
am,
and,
yeah.
I don't know if it's a secret, but it feels like sometimes in comedy circles, that's something that people almost reveal themselves to you at different times. Like, oh, yeah, I'm a Rabbitohs fan.
Yeah.
You
wouldn't think it would
guy.
match up. No, I go for the Dragons.
You go for the Dragons.
For
What's
no
behind
no
that?
real reason. My dad, I think he started watching them every week when they were like really good.
Okay.
And they were winning all the premierships, and then
Yep.
he was like, all right, we go for the Dragons.
Oh, nice.
But now we haven't won a premiership in 10, 12 years or something.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
That's so you growing up, you're into all your sports. So cricket, but tennis was the one that was it the one you were best at, or was it the one you enjoyed most? Because I find sometimes there's a difference.
There
Like,
is.
It's interesting having worked at Fox Sports and stuff and worked with. I remember when Fox Sports first got the cricket, the amount of footballers, like league players, who would come. Oh, I love cricket. I was always better at cricket. I loved cricket more, but footy. I was better at footy. Was the thing.
Yeah.
And then there's guys like Mark Bosnich, who is convinced if he didn't play professional soccer, he would have been a rugby league player. Like,
Really?
it's just, yeah. Like, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
confidence.
I think it was definitely I was better at it. I don't know
You're
if I
better at
liked it that much.
Really?
Yeah.
So pushy parents, or is that just
Yeah, a
you?
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now I coach it. I still don't like it that much.
What? So, what ages? What do we talk coaching?
Probably
Like?
6 to 18.
6 to 18.
Playing pretty regularly, like at least 2-3 times a week. But I never really played tournaments. I played a few, but I was never like going out trying to get a ranking or anything. So I just played it a lot and it was pretty good.
So you sort of almost fell into it a bit more.
Yeah.
You're one of those annoying guys who's really good at something that you didn't try that hard to be really good at.
I hope I am. I'm not always. I think I'm more like, because I do like to play a lot of sport.
Yeah.
And I would like to think that if I tried hard at almost any sport, I could get good. But I wouldn't always be a natural. But if I focused, I could get good on it at the sport.
So what sport would you like? Give me the one you reckon you could. Like, if I said to you, you're gonna get as good as you can. I need you to turn pro.
Yeah.
You got 2 years, but you've got the speed and agility of your youth. You got 2 years to skill up and get good, and you could turn pro. What's the one you reckon you could?
Can I pick tennis?
You can pick tennis.
Yeah, definitely.
So tennis.
Yeah.
Is that just because you got less distance to go?
Yeah. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, I wonder if I like committed to it, how I could have gone. But I don't think maybe I could have been top 1,000 in the world, but.
Oh, wow.
Well, maybe not even that. But like, you realize when you play is like, there are just so many different levels when it comes to sport. It's like, I'm pretty good to really good. I don't want to pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
But then I would lose 6-love to someone who's like, really, really good.
Yeah.
And then that guy would lose 6-love to someone who's in the top 100. And then someone who's 100th in the world will lose 6-love to, whoever's number 1 in the world. So it's like, you're so many levels away from being at the top of your sport.
And it is too, I think, like after a certain point, there's a mental aspect. Particularly tennis strikes me as something where there's the physical skills. Like you need a level of speed, you need the technical ability to hit, to make the strokes, and the hand-eye coordination, all that sort of stuff. And that pool of people's reasonably large.
Yeah.
So you tick off the athleticism, and then the understanding of the game, the ability to think through what your opponent's going to do, that gets even smaller. And then there's that real small group of people who actually just fully believe that they are that mental side of it. Yeah, why wouldn't I be the best in the world at this?
Yeah.
And that I think is something that's something I find is very different to, Like, it's the psychology of those elite athletes that's really where the difference is.
Absolutely.
So, how do you coach that? Have you got any young proteges coming through?
No,
No,
none. And it's like I
I
feel
hope
like
their parents are watching this.
I feel like it's payback because like I would play and I feel like I'd have one good lesson or I'd play really well, and then the next lesson I would sort of just not try and not move and not do anything, and my dad would get so frustrated that I just wouldn't play properly. And then now I coach kids who are sort of like that, who are just they don't move and they don't try. I'm like, God, this is frustrating. Like, I feel like it's absolute, like, it's just payback for the years of lessons I wasted just like having a sook and not trying. And then now I'm watching these kids. I'm like, oh my God, please just move your feet for the love of God.
Do you ever look back and go, like, think, just why didn't I, if I wasn't like them and I'd applied myself, why didn't I apply myself more? I could have done more.
Well, I don't know. When you're a kid, you're like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here.
Yeah, it is. It's frustrating, I suppose, as an adult. Like, because in a way, those kids are making decisions about how they're going to approach the game without understanding the implications of those decisions at all.
Yeah.
And their parents have paid money and want them to apply themselves.
Yeah.
Which must be the frustrating part. It's the main thing, though. I think, like, because I love sport. I'm a big advocate. I think people should get involved where they can. But my thing now, I'm realizing, watching my kids come through and having just worked with guys that had, you realize, having worked at Fox Sports with some of the guys that had made professional careers, and you realize, they're just built different. They're not. It's not the same.
Yeah.
And you realize how rare it is to get to those levels. Now I approach like my kids' sport like, mate, just have fun.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it. Like, it's supposed to be fun, which is, I think, like I'm at the moment, I'm on this big thing where, like, a lot of sports have got this participation fall off once they hit their teens, and I think that's where sometimes, depending where you are, that's where it starts to get serious, where the talented kids start to get moved into their own group, and then the kids who aren't as talented get less, and so they fall off. But even the talented kids, the percentage of them that are going on to make a living out of this, they almost professionalize too early, and then they wonder why, most of the kids who get who get to the point where it's they're not really doing much, start to fall off from the game. Do you find that in tennis?
Yeah, well, sometimes I see, like, it doesn't happen too often, but sometimes you see a kid playing tennis and they're just not enjoying it at all. And you just want to be like, do you even want to do this? Like, you don't have to. I don't know if I've said that before, but I want to be like, you just tell your mum you don't want to play tennis. Yeah. Like, it's just a waste of your time, and it's like, it's frustrating. I just wish I could, like, zone out and be like, oh, he doesn't want to be here, I'm going to zone out. I don't care. I'm not going to try, coach. But it's so hard when someone's just, like, not moving, and exactly how I probably was as a kid. You're just like, God, this is so frustrating.
So there's a few comedians on the Australian scene that are tennis guys. I'm thinking of Goldstein. Pops to mind. Who's the best? Like, who would win if we had a tournament of the current crop of people in the Australian comedy community? Yep. Give me the seeds.
Well, I've been told that Adam Hills was a tennis coach.
Really?
Yeah. I've never seen him play.
I feel like you got him for youth at this point.
Yeah. So I guess, if someone's a tennis coach, they got to be pretty good. Mike Goldstein is good. I've played him a few times. Ash Williams?
Yep.
I've never played him, but I've seen him hit because he hits at the courts where I coach, and he hits the ball really well. Yeah. If I was allowed to, I'd put me first.
Yeah, you're allowed to.
And I'd put Ash Williams second.
Ooh, Goldstein.
Goldstein third. Adam Hills, I've never seen him, but maybe fourth. Yeah. I was hitting the ball so well the other day.
Oh, really?
And I don't often say that. I hit the ball, like, really, really well, like, once every 6 months. And I almost, like, I wanted someone to film it. Oh, like, I just wanted... Good. Yeah, just so I could just, if someone, like, you asked, how do you play? I just been like, here's footage. Yeah. This is the best I can play.
Look at this guy. Yeah. This guy's, he knows what he's doing.
It felt good.
But that's the other thing, too, is at a certain point you want to... I don't know. Like I've just realised I've just gone back. I've been playing a bit of park cricket after not playing for like 15 years, and I'm like, oh yeah, I kind of should have appreciated the fact that I could run and move and do things a lot quicker now than I can at 40.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, okay, 40's not even that old, so I've got to enjoy this window before everything breaks down.
I'm scared of that as well, because I play a bit of touch football as well. I like playing touch football, and I'm not like insanely fast, but I'm pretty quick, and I've always that's been important to me, to be fast.
Yeah, you were that kid, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to race?
Yeah.
You wanna race?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now I'm even like, I can feel it, like I'm losing a bit of speed, and you make a little break and you get caught straight away. I'm like, oh, I can't be losing my speed. This is important to me.
I remember,
but it's just going to get worse and worse. I'm going to get slower and slower. It's so upsetting.
There's just nothing, and there's nothing you can do about it.
I know.
It's perfectly natural. Like, even the quickest guys, the quickest guy at 40 was quicker at 30.
Yeah.
And was quicker at 25. Like, that's I'm not sure when sprinters or whatever peak, but that's the sad fact of it. Like, Usain Bolt is looking now going, God, I'm not as quick as I used to be. Like,
yeah.
That's sad to think.
Do you know the sprint coach Roger Fabry?
Roger Fabry.
I think he coaches a lot of the NRL players.
To
make them faster sprinters. But my brother, for my birthday, he got us a session with him.
Oh, really? Is that how much it means to you?
Yeah. But he wasn't he was more testing us out to see if we could go into a group and then do it every week. So he wasn't really telling us how to run fast. It was we did all these drills, and he was so mean. We do all these weird different things that we'd never done before, and he was like, no, you're doing it wrong. And then we had to sprint all these different distances, 20, 40, 60. And I think he called me a facade or something like that.
A facade?
Because he was like, you look like you're going to be slow, which I'm offended by. And then he was like, but then you were pretty quick.
Hey, you'd rather it be around the other way.
Yeah, but he said my acceleration was bad, but my top speed was good. But back in the day, I think my acceleration was good. So I think I've lost the acceleration. Now I've probably lost the
I don't think my
well.
acceleration's ever been good, but I was able to get, when I was younger, I was able to get to a decent top speed.
Yeah.
But I've always been a bigger unit, so
yeah.
It always took me a little while to get there. It's like getting a steam train going.
But then you stride out,
Yeah.
you got those long legs.
Get them going. But
Yeah.
Stopping was never easy either. Not the most, we're turning going the other way, are we? Yeah, no, I'll be with you in a bit, guys.
Just fall over.
Yeah. And that's, so you are a proper, bit of a sports nerd then,
Yeah.
aren't you? Even to have that as something that you might be into is, I got coached by Roger Fabry. That's it. So what other, what would be the dream career then?
Well, yeah, interesting you say that, because I've told Conchetta, my dream life is to have a different team sport I can do every day. Okay. Maybe I play a bit of futsal on a Monday night, a bit of touch football on a Tuesday night, a bit of something else on a Wednesday, and I like playing sport all the time.
It is fun, isn't it? It's the funnest way to be fit and healthy too for me. I find it much easier to try to go, okay, I need to sprint now if there's a purpose, rather than just I'm just going to put some witches' hats down and see if you.
Yeah, that's insane.
That to me has never been appealing. But yeah, I'm a bit the same. I've always enjoyed the team sport. So let's map out the week. All right, so we're going
for me.
Yeah. Sunday night. What's your Sunday night sport, mate?
Sunday night. Is this dream sport or what I actually do?
This is dream sport.
I'd like to play I like touch football, so I'd put that in for 2 times a week.
2 times a week?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Your knees will hold up. You're still young, mate. You'll get
that's
there.
what I'm worried about, because my dad is sort of exactly like me when he was young, insane sport. He just wanted to play sport all the time.
Yeah.
And he was like, my body was fine until I hit, around mid-30s, and then his body started falling apart. He was like, his knees are arthritic, his shoulders are arthritic, his Achilles popped. His body just completely fell apart. I'm like, I hope that doesn't happen to me.
The Achilles is not the one you want either.
Yeah, he told me that was bad.
Yeah. That, I don't know. I feel like now we're a bit, one, the science is a bit better. 2, I think you're taught younger stretching. You're taught the importance of those things younger. So there's probably a little bit of, you bought yourself a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'd throw that in as well if I had all the free time, I'd go to yoga twice a week.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice. Well, you got to be in condition if you're gonna.
Yeah.
You're gonna be the midweek sport guy.
Yeah,
7
exactly.
days a week.
Yeah.
So touch footy, you're doing that. So we'll call that Sunday, Wednesday,
Yep.
Monday night.
Well, I do a bit of boxing now as well.
Ooh, the kid.
The kid, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
What's brought that on? What, you just not getting hit enough, or?
Yeah. I just wanted to get hit as much as possible.
I need to feel something.
But yeah, I've been doing that for about 2.5 years.
Oh really?
I don't know why I wanted to. I think I liked Rocky, all the
Yeah.
Rocky movies, and then I was like, yeah, I'd like to be good at that.
I get the appeal for that. I remember I've always liked that as just as a fitness sort of a thing.
Oh, the fitness is crazy.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
I've never sweat more in my entire life.
Yeah.
I did it before, and my whole shirt was drenched. I was like just drenched in sweat, and you don't even think you're doing that much.
No.
But you're just drenched.
Well, that's where, like, I think do you spar?
Well, I funny you ask. I haven't really done a lot of sparring because it's scary.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hit in the head a
I'm with
lot. So I did it, a while ago, like once, and then I did it twice, and I sort of didn't like it because, people hit me in the head a lot, and I was bad. But then recently, the last 2 weeks, I was like, I've got to just, commit to it, and I want to get better. This is the only way to get better. So the last 2 weeks, I've done sparring, and it is tough.
See, I could see you as being a reasonably slippery fighter, though. Like that speed you're talking about. Like, you're a compact sort of a guy. So
Well, I wouldn't say I'm good at boxing. Yeah, it's just like, because I haven't done a lot of sparring, it's just like, it takes so long to get used to someone trying to hit you in the head.
yeah. Well, it's hard enough to remember the combinations they want you to throw. And then, okay, go out and
it's
do
hard
that
to
while
just keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Like, someone's throwing a punch at you, your instinct is to, like, close your eyes.
To
flinch. And so, like...
cry and say your mum's name.
Exactly, yeah, and fall on the floor and piss your pants. But, yeah, I don't think I'm slick yet. Although in the sparring classes, I went up against two guys who were smaller than me. And I'm not big, but, so they were very small. And that was the only time that I actually felt good. Like, because, you've got the reach on someone.
Yeah.
It makes it so much easier. And then anyone that was bigger than me, I'm like, this is a nightmare. They're just hitting me in the head nonstop.
Well, that's where because I didn't mind. We did a bit for pre-season when I was playing hockey. We go to. I remember going to Kochan's boxing gym for a pre-season run with one of his trainers, and he's got us doing stuff and the bag and then I watched this guy walk in, one of the guys that, like, a fighter who's there regularly, and he just sort of loose warming up, and he was the guy you wouldn't look twice at in a pub, and then you just see him loosen up and then just starts working the heavy bag and hitting it just the efficiency of everything he's doing, and the heavy bags are like, poof. And I'm just like, oh man, like, yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, you could kill me.
It's such a good lesson.
Oh yeah,
because, like, it's a Muay Thai gym as well that I go to, and the amount of people that walk in, like, this guy looks like a skinny little accountant, and then he's just like kicking the heck out of the bag, and you're like, all right, just it's a good lesson to not sort of pick on anyone, because they probably know jiu-jitsu or Krav Maga, and they'll probably kill you.
Yeah, you don't know what this person knows.
Yeah,
and
especially these days, everyone's doing some sort of fighting class.
Well, yeah, half the world wants to, do. Oh, mate, I grapple. I do. You know what I mean? Everyone's the UFC has had a kick on.
Yeah.
So, so boxing. That's obviously, was that one night a week? What are we doing?
Well, at the moment, I try to do it 3 or 4 times a week.
3 or 4 times a week?
Yeah.
No wonder you're fit.
It does help the fitness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So 3 or 4 times, we've basically filled the week between that and the odd hit of tennis.
Yeah.
You know, time for
I'd
mixed
cut
indoor
tennis
netball.
out. I'll cut tennis out.
You and Conchetta could have a mixed indoor netball.
I hate netball.
You hate netball?
Have
you played?
No, I hate anything where you can't move with the ball.
Yeah.
I want to move with the ball.
It also is it's very much a height. Like, height it's not everything, but height is a very big advantage in netball. Like, you get a couple of people who are really a lot taller than the people they're playing on, and it's just such an advantage.
Yeah.
But that's when you watch that, like, I don't know if you've ever seen that up close, like netballers that really know what they're doing. That's impressive how agile they are too,
really?
For large people, like big, tall, athletic people. It's pretty cool to watch, but it is also there's some, your neighbourhood netballs probably. No, it's fun. I remember I played years ago. I played in a mixed netball team. Me and my wife and one of my best mates and his wife, and it was just a good social fun thing. But I used to always, going back to me not being able to stop when I was moving, I'd always end up on some small, put up against some smaller female, and I'd just be like, it was just countdown to me knocking them over accidentally. Like, it was just because I don't, get a steam. I'm going for the ball, and you go to reach
elbow
or whatever,
to the face.
Yeah, just not my finest moments on an indoor mixed netball court, but it was fun.
Yeah.
So no futsal, no.
I like futsal. Yeah.
You like futsal?
Yeah, well, it's weird because I same thing with like soccer. When I was a kid, I was like kind of bad. Well, not bad, but I didn't try, and so I wasn't great. But then now I play futsal. There's a few comedians who have a futsal game, and now I'm like, I guess now I just like I said, I want to be good at like everything. So now I'm focused. I'm trying.
You're also comparing yourself to comedians.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they're all got asthma inhalers and falling on the ground. So.
Yeah, I know a few of the people who play in that.
Yeah,
that side. So outside of the sport, obviously. First off, too, the tennis.
Yeah,
this is that's why I remember you used to wear shorts to gigs every now and then.
I still would if it was cold, if it was hot enough.
Yeah, shorts, get the calves out.
Yeah,
my wife loves tennis.
Oh, really?
Loves watching the tennis.
Yeah.
Will not play with me. Like, we've had a hit a few times, but she just is like, no. She just wants to watch. And I'm convinced it's because of the calves. She likes a good set of calves.
Oh, really?
My wife. And so, I mean, it's a shame you can't get them out for
a
day.
I'm trying to get the calves bigger. My friend who's a physio, and we work out sometimes, he said, my calves are very weak.
Really?
Which I thought they were strong, and he said, no, they're very, very weak.
Very, very weak. Look, in my professional opinion.
yeah, he gave me a diagnosis of weak calves.
Oh, that's terrible. I've always thought you had nice calves.
Oh, thank you.
Always pick a tennis player or coach by the tanned calves and a crazy sock line.
Oh, yeah, I've got a great sock line.
Yeah. At the beach, there they go. Oh, you don't kick around in thongs much, do you, mate?
No. You got to keep it. You got to keep the line. You want it to be strong.
That's it. Well, look like you're wearing white socks even when you're not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. So, comedy though.
Okay.
So sport and comedy, they're you basically are Triple M. You throw in some, some classic rock.
Yeah.
Sport, comedy, and rock and roll.
Yeah, I've come off like a real arrogant guy here. Just like,
no, you haven't.
Great at tennis. I'm great at soccer. I'm an unbelievable boxer.
Mate, you haven't at all. And you've actually. I'm impressed with that you're even doing boxing. It's because that's.
Thank you. I want everyone to be impressed.
Well, that's the thing that's always hell. Like, I've always liked that as a workout, and for a while when I could just needed to do something at home for working out, but the kids were little, so it was hard to get out, or just had a cheap boxing bag, hung it, and there was nothing better, especially stressed.
Oh, absolutely.
Just
it's
get
the
out
best.
there, just throw a few combinations, and I don't know what that was. That's all right.
No.
Oh,
what's she done?
I'm pretty sure that didn't even bleed through onto the audio. So Conchetta's, for full disclosure, Conchetta, Ben's partner,
she's here for emotional support.
Sitting in the other room, and she's just watching, making sure he doesn't say anything inappropriate.
Yeah.
Well, he gets flirty. Let's be honest.
I've been flirting the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to impress
Talking
you.
up his boxing.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're at there, but yeah, no, with the boxing, that's the thing that always held me back, was this idea that at some point I might have to spar. Like I like boxing in terms of a boxer-size class, or a workout thing. But yeah, because especially like you were saying with guys bigger than you, too. Once you get into weight divisions, I'm a tallish guy, but I'm a thick dude. So Like I'm a reasonably
now
heavy
he's
dude.
flirting.
No. What I'm saying is like for my weight, there are some giant human beings with really strong, long reaches, and I would be murdered.
Well, the first few times I didn't have the headgear on.
Oh,
I kind of thought they'd supply it.
Oh, really?
But they didn't. And then that stupid, man part of your brain that doesn't want to say, "Can you go light on me, please, and not hit me so hard?" But now I do say that.
Yeah.
If I'm up against, like, because you just mix partners, and if I know who's really good, and so if there's a guy who I know could absolutely smash my head off, Now I've got the headgear as well, and I also say, can you please go light on me? Can you go light?
That's the other thing too, because if you're in a class with other people who are learning, like you're almost better off partnering up with someone who really knows what they're doing because they've got control.
Yeah.
Whereas I remember a few years ago, I was ring announcer for a few.
The ring girl?
No, but they had ring girls. So it was weird. I did a couple of them, and they were, what it was this guy used to do this corporate boxing fitness thing where you'd sign up and you had to raise money for charity, but a bunch of corporate guys would sign up and half of them would go with one trainer, half of them would go with the other, and they'd be partnered up and they'd have a fight night.
Yeah.
And the way they'd raise money for their charities is they'd sell tables. So it was like, proper boxing fight night, and there'd be one or two professional bouts on the night, like proper sanctioned bouts. But it was mostly these guys going against each other, and it was interesting watching that. Where there was one fight in particular where a guy who was winning the fight got disqualified because the guy basically hit his knee, and he just didn't have I could see why it happened. Like he didn't have the control to pull the last punch and basically hit a guy who was on his knee.
Oh, right.
And so then the ref, he's a proper boxing ref, just called it. You're out.
Wow.
And then so his whole table like, what? And like it was pretty interesting watching that. But it was funny because funny you mentioned the ring girls, is they'd have the girls there to do the in the cards and that sort of stuff, and they were lovely too, young girls. We'd sit. Them and I would sit sort of ringside because I'd in between rounds get in and out, and they'd be up there, showing the numbers. But what happened was we were on like just plastic, those plastic barbecue chairs that are meant for outdoors. So they've got slots in them, like gaps in them, so that they don't, so that if they're outdoors, the water can get through them.
Right.
So when the professional bouts are on, usually they were just in a little skirt and a top. When the professional bouts were on, that's when they'd have to be in bikinis. And these girls sitting in these tiny bikinis on those chairs would go up, and you could see down the back of their legs the red marks from where the chairs had left outlines, and it was just bizarre. Like it was like, oh, it's a professional bout now, ladies. Enough with the skirts. It was very strange.
Yeah.
And that was my other one was that all the guys that competed got to pick a nickname for themselves. Like good boxing nicknames. Yeah. And this Irish guy had his name was, I think it was John Ball, right? So he picked his nickname was John the Wrecking Ball.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Right, and they'd go up on the big screen, and but either he misspelt it when he put the form in, or the person who put it up there misspelt it, so it actually came up John the Reeking Ball. It's like, this is a medical condition, mate?
Yeah.
That's an intimidating.
Yeah, that's after the fight.
Yeah. So, but yeah, mate, get involved in that. You could go in a. Okay, here's the next one.
Yeah.
You're seated number one. Who do you reckon you could? What comedians you reckon could throw hands?
I know a few of them. I know. Do you know EJ Ravetti? Yeah. I think he's pretty good. Yeah. I think he's definitely better than me.
Noted. Okay.
Yeah. Proper. I think he's a proper. He did it a lot when he was a kid.
Yeah.
So he'd be number one. And then, Chris Newen?
Yep.
He did a bit of boxing.
Really?
I don't think he does it anymore, but he would spar a lot.
He's another unassuming dude. Like, you wouldn't ever pick. Like, he's not a guy anyone. Like, if, someone bumped into him in a pub, most blokes wouldn't think twice about piss off, mate. That's the scary thing about guys that know how to fight.
Yeah. And Jared McGowan, I think he does all sorts of.
Yeah, he
does everything. Bit of jiu-jitsu, bit of Muay Thai, bit of boxing. Oh, and Sam Taunton, he boxes a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Sam Taunton. feel like you just give him a hug and he'd give up.
Yeah, maybe.
Thanks. Just getting close and he just. Thank you. We don't need to fight anymore. Thanks, ref.
Actually, that's funny because Taunton and I and a couple other people have a boxing group chat, and Taunton and I do always say our favourite part of the fight is when they hug at the end. I'm like, it's nice to see they're still friends at the end of the day.
Yeah. Respect.
A bit of respect, love. Yeah.
It's just a sport.
Yeah, come on, let's just see more hugs.
Yeah, nice. My favourite part's the the fake argument at the press conference.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's like, yeah, no, we're
Trying to sell some tickets.
at this point we all know.
Yeah.
Guys, you're just professional fighters. It's all fine, guys.
Yeah.
My favorite was the recent NRL one
Oh yeah.
with
Gallon and
Gallon and
Hodges.
and Ben Hannett.
Mm.
And it's like these guys have all known each other for years.
Mm.
Like they played rugby league against each other. They
Yeah.
had plenty of chances. Like they can't be like, I know they want to win, but yeah, surely they can't hate each other that much. I wouldn't have thought. And they're all reasonably nice blokes. That's so you ranking yourself in the boxing.
I wouldn't rank myself too high.
You wouldn't rank
I don't want to say I'm a great boxer over here.
Would you beat Taunts?
He's
Picking-
bigger than me. It's tough when someone's bigger than you.
He's sneaky big.
He is sneaky big.
He's one of those guys you don't think of as being quite as tall as he is, and quite as like he'd have a decent reach. I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So
And
I don't
sneaky
know.
strong too.
He probably is very strong.
Yeah, he'd love hearing that. You're welcome, mate. Not that he'd ever watch this, I don't think. Yeah, so comedy. What drew you to comedy? Like 19, that's a like. Did you go to uni? Did you what was the plan?
Yeah, I went to uni. I think I did. It was like a media degree. And
You
then
know it went
in
well when
brackets-
someone says, "I think I did."
Yeah, it's like media in brackets, PR and advertising.
Oh wow!
And I like the advertising part. And in hindsight, I don't think I knew what PR was because I hate PR. Why would I want to do public put out a press release?
Yeah,
I don't want to do that.
Need a
But I
press
don't think I
release for this
knew
guy.
that's what it was.
Yeah,
So I thought I was like, oh, advertising. I like advertising, sort of.
yeah. I watched the ads.
Yeah, some of the ads are funny.
Yeah.
So I only did a year of that and then dropped out. But yeah, I just started because I just always liked stand up and from being a young kid, and just one of those things where I was like, God, I wonder if I could do it.
Who were your like guys that you were like, this is the comedian I'd reckon I want to be like, or who was your favorite comedian?
Brian Regan,
Brian Regan.
definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a like not a deep cut, but like it's for 10 years ago. There wasn't a heap of people who would have, especially 19, 11 years ago, there wasn't heaps of people that would have known Brian Regan. You would in Australia, you would have had to gone searching for comedy.
Well, I think I knew about him from when I was like 13 or 12 or 13.
How did you find Brian Regan?
I think I don't know if this is exactly right, but I think my brother came into my room one day and it's a great story.
Wow.
And he pulled my pants down and
He said, one day I'm going to get you a lesson from a sprint coach. Now.
yeah. And it was the time where that illegal downloading stuff, LimeWire and no, not Lime. Yeah, it was LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Yeah,
and-
something Kazaa,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I think he looked up like these Comedy Central Presents specials or something, and he like downloaded one and made me listen to it or something. And then I think I was just like,
look at you, all innocent in this. He illegally
did it.
downloaded and forced me to listen.
yeah, I wasn't interested. I wasn't a part of it. And I think that's what happened. Who knows? I don't have a good memory. And then I think I just became obsessed, and then I just kept looking up Comedy Central Presents, and then it had heaps on LimeWire or Kazaa. They were just filled, so I think I just listened to every Comedy Central Presents by everyone. And I think I must have found Brian Regan, and that was the one. Him and Jim Gaffigan I really liked.
Yeah.
And I guess because they're clean, and like when you're a kid, you don't want to hear some filthy comedian.
Well,
You don't even understand any of the jokes.
When you're a kid too, you don't want to be listening to someone that your parents walk in and go, "Who is it?" Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's much safer to be putting something on that's clean.
Yeah.
Than than what naughty boys might do.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're better off getting caught listening to that than Kevin Bloody Wilson at that age.
Yeah. So I was just listening to all the American comedians and all their Comedy Central Presents specials and the Brian Regan one. Wow. It's still to this day.
Yeah.
His early stuff, no offense,
Oh, you sold out, you reckon?
hasn't sold out, but everyone gets worse. Most people get worse the longer they go on. But some of those early specials and albums, I listened to one of them recently. It's like 50 minutes of the best jokes, crushing. It's so hard.
Do you remember what it's called? So people can look it up.
Oh, yes, I should remember. remember.
Just Comedy Central.
Just look up
presents.
Brian Regan and I Walked on the Moon. That's a really good one. Yeah, his earlier stuff, the albums, so good.
And you're just in the hitting zone too for that sense.
Yes.
I'm a big believer that between sort of 13 and 17, for boys at least, there is this weird part. Your brain is that perfectly undeveloped mass that if something funny gets hold of it, that it imprints on you for life. Like there'll never be a time I don't find the Late Show funny, like that stuff.
But that's probably right for like anything. It's like whatever you get really into from 13 to 15. That like I should have got into finance or something, and I'll be like a crypto billionaire right now. But I listen.
Why didn't I find coding?
Yeah, exactly. Man, I mean, you've got kids. I coach kids these days, and they're like, "Yeah, I've had a coding class." I'm like, they're all learning coding.
That's
now.
exactly right.
That's just a subject at school is coding.
I had a. This is a few years ago. I had a guy in the audience. You know, I said something about Instagram, and he was I did a bit of an interaction, and he was making fun of me because I didn't know something about Instagram and I just said to him, I said, I feel sorry for you because at the moment you're laughing at me. But I've got a 9-year-old who's learning coding. Like you're going to be irrelevant so much quicker than I became irrelevant. Like it is just this. You know that they in the US they talk about that grand replacement theory, which
What's
is
that?
it's basically the right wing have this idea, this grand replacement theory that the white population is going to be replaced by immigrants and multicultural. Like
we can't have that.
Yeah, well that's their thing, but. That's obviously just garbage, but there is a grand replacement theory that is young people are coming for all of us. They're just everyone is going to be replaced. It's like everyone has been replaced that ever existed, and we're all getting replaced at some stage. And you just got to learn. Well, that's the way it's going to go.
It's going so fast. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm 30 and like Conchetta's got the new iPhone. And I never know how to open it. I cannot work out how to open her phone ever.
You are the youngest old couple I think I've ever met.
Well, we've both recently put ABC Classic as a preset option on our radios.
Oh, how good!
It's great.
Is that for when you're riding?
No, when I'm in the car.
In the car,
when
nice.
when we drive.
That's
also, but no, she wakes up to ABC Classic now, so yeah, we do have it on every now and then.
That makes a real. I find that makes a real difference for me. Like I'll put that sort of stuff on if I'm trying to write or something I need to focus.
Yeah,
and just put that on, and
I have done that in the past.
Really helps.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
good.
You're in a better mood, and you feel like a better person. Like it's bullshit, but you do. You feel like
you do.
You're like, yeah. Well, they're probably listening to commercial radio.
Yeah, so things are going pretty well now that I listen to ABC
they
Classic.
Even know who Marla is. That's So what is your process with writing and that sort of stuff? Like, how do you, do you sit down and write? Do you write out, or what's your go?
I can't do that thing where people say they work it out on stage.
Oh, really?
I don't trust myself to work it out on stage.
No.
I'm like, I need to know that hopefully there's some sort of joke coming.
My thing is that guy on stage is scared.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes, and I've had this explained to me by an older comic who's been around a long time, is that they've said they've got the idea, but the adrenaline and the urgency of that moment forces their brain into that position, which I've had a couple of times that stumbled on it, but it's not for me a reliable way.
No, I've maybe found a tag once or twice.
Yeah, that's
if
what
the crowd is really good.
Yeah, I've stumbled on a word.
Yeah, that's
looking for the
a
wrong
rephrasing,
word and just go, oh, that works heaps better. Why didn't I do that the first time?
But yeah, I usually I'll try, have an idea, write it in the phone, and then the next day I try sit down for an hour and just write, and I look through the phone if there's anything funny there and try write it out. And
so longhand or?
I type with long hands.
Long fingers.
Long fingers, yeah.
Yeah. No, but like, so full sentences, or do you write bullet points?
Full sentences, but then when I do it on stage, I'm not like, let me remember the exact wording of that. It's like I generally know what I wrote.
So more to help you commit the whole idea or intent to memory than get word perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's about it.
Interesting. Now, you've got, before we go, a couple of things to plug. You do a podcast with your partner, Conchetta.
Yep.
It is called
The Quibble Hour.
the Quibble Hour.
Yeah.
Talk us through this.
It's just because we don't really have big fights, but we have little things that we like, quibble over. And
How long you been together?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
It's good. It's the
Yeah.
slow release tension rather than the build up and
Yeah.
explode.
Well, we have fights where it's like sort of passive aggressive and joking, and we do a weird voice and sort of it sort of makes it
God.
kind of funny.
I'd love to see. It's like a bad open mic night.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah,
I've got props. She does voices. She does characters. I'm only allowed to respond with yes and. It's mostly improv.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The voice would do is be like, that's funny. It's dishes over
Oh
there.
yeah.
That's weird. That's weird. I thought you would have done those. Stuff like that. So anyway, we talk about any quibbles we have with each other, and then we get people to message in any quibbles they have with their partner, and now we've just opened it up to any quibble with anything.
Oh nice.
Anything that annoys you, and they just send it in, and we talk about it.
You talk about it. Do you ever solve it?
We try to, but I don't know if we've ever helped anyone. They haven't replied back if we've
Nah.
helped them.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it's good just to know it annoys other people too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Now, the other thing is you have a stand-up special on YouTube.
Yes, originally I tried to put it out as an album because I used to listen to albums, as we said, Brian Ring, so I thought it'd be cool to have an album. So I did. It is an album, but then I also got it filmed, and I put it on YouTube, and I think it's doing much better on YouTube than it is as an album. So you can listen to if you want to see what I look like telling the jokes, you can watch the YouTube version. Or
Mate, can I just tell you, don't miss out on what Ben looks like.
I'm doing a lot of stuff up there.
Yeah. Have we got the calves out? That's the important thing.
No, I didn't have it was cold. I should have. Next special, I'll have the calves out.
It can be called Calves Out.
That's good.
With Ben Kochan.
It's upsetting watching yourself do stand-up because you're like, I thought I was doing a lot more up there.
Oh, mate.
Like, I thought I was doing
100%.
faces. I was doing a bit of an act out. I was like, no, I'm standing dead still, and my face is dead still.
Yep.
It's so upsetting.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I've watched back so many things where I'm going, man, I was all over the shop tonight. And then
I was
like,
loosey-goosey.
that thing where I was thinking I was over the top with my actions. It was like, no,
Yeah.
you moved your hand, idiot.
Nothing. You put a finger up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
didn't even wag
You
it.
furrowed
You just-
your eyebrow.
You did a voice as though you were wagging your finger.
Yeah.
It's, yeah. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to check that out. What's it called and where can we find it?
It's called Hooly Dooly What a Crowd.
That's one of my favourite jokes of yours.
And it's on Spotify and YouTube. And I'm sorry that I said I was really good at sport.
You don't be, mate. You are like, just be honest. You're obviously good at sport.
I'm good at tennis. I'll say that. Everything else, I'm decent to pretty good at.
There's a difference between saying too, like I could, and this isn't what you did. You weren't going, look, I could be a pro at this, or I understand.
I couldn't be a pro.
You're like, I'm interested in this. The way you made it seem was like you're trying lots of different sports because you find them fun.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you go, I can't do this at all.
Yeah.
Which is the main thing. And the one that I think people need to be most careful about bragging about, which is boxing.
Yes.
You were the most humble about.
And can I say that reminds me, because I've heard comedians on podcasts, a lot of comedians do, like American comedians I've heard, like Louis C.K. did a bit of boxing, Gary Shandling did a bit of boxing, Ricky Gervais did a bit of boxing. So anytime they talk about it on a podcast, I'm like, all right, let's see how good they are. Let's look up Louis C.K. boxing. And there's footage of him boxing. He's horrible. And I looked up Gary Shandling boxing. Horrific. Ricky Gervais is surprisingly good.
Really?
I was very surprised. He's super aggressive. He had a few charity fights, and he comes out and he's like swinging, and then he just comes out and just goes for it, just like tries to smash the person's head off. I was like, Jesus Christ. I wouldn't have guessed that Ricky Gervais would be the most aggressive boxer, and like decent technique. I thought he was the best out of all the comedians I've seen. From big comedians, he seemed the best.
Wow. Well, there you go.
Look up Ricky Gervais boxing.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Excellent. Well, that's about all the time we got. Ben, thank you very much for doing this, mate.
Thanks for having me.
Before we go, where can people find you on social media, etc.?
Instagram at Ben Kochan and Twitter at Ben Kochan. I guess TikTok if that's your thing. at Ben Kochan.
Just because you're on my podcast, you don't think anyone would cross over?
No,
with
I
this?
don't like TikTok that much. I don't like it.
I don't understand it yet. I don't know what it is, but everyone tells you got to put your stuff on
You
there,
got to put your stuff there.
So Andrew Barnett Comedy on Instagram and TikTok, I think, and Mr. A Barnett on Twitter, but I haven't tweeted in about 6 years, so that's useless.
But follow him just in case.
Yeah, when it comes.
Just in case in the next 6 years.
I'm not going to waste those 140 characters.
Yeah.
You tell me. This one's been a long time coming. Thanks very much, mate.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
See ya.
See ya.